Chassidim were there, and they asked, and all of a sudden Tzemach Tzedek, they were expecting Chassidus. Tzemach Tzedek asked them, what do you want to hear? You want to hear a Torah or a Maaseh or a Sipur? You want to hear a Chassidus or you want to hear a story? Now, Chassidim are klug, are smart, clever, and they understand that if the Tzemach Tzedek is giving a choice between Chassidus and the Maaseh, that means that the Maaseh is worth at least as Chassidus, and probably even more important because the Tzemach Tzedek is giving the choice. That means he has an etiyah for that. So the Chassidim told the Tzemach Tzedek a Maaseh. And here Tzemach Tzedek tells a story. Tzemach Tzedek said that once it was a Chassid, a Ruzhiner Chassid, who was a landlord. And he rented out to a Yid, and the Yid was paying rent until the business went bad, and he couldn't pay rent anymore. So the landlord came over to him and said, you're not paying rent. You got a need to leave the place. He says, I can't leave the place. Me and my family. Okay, I'll give you 3 months. And he gave him 3 months more. And in the meantime, the Chassid didn't know what to do. He's going to be evicted in 3 months. And then, after 3 months, he had an idea. And the idea, the tenant decided that he's going to go to the Rebbe of the landlord. That was the Ruzhiner. And he's going to complain about his Chassid. How is that possible that you put a Yiddish family on the streets?
Slumlord.
Yeah. So he went to the Ruzhiner, and the Ruzhiner called. He summoned this Chassid, and actually the Chassid decided, okay, I'm going to give him 1 more year, and he pushed away the payment for a year. In the meantime, he was expecting the tenant to make more money to pay. The year has passed, and the tenant did not make any money. So the landlord again sent him a letter that you're going to be evicted in 3 months if you don't pay. And after 3 months, the tenant had the same idea. He went again to the Rebbe, and he begged for Achmones, please tell your Chassid not to take me out from my home. And the Rebbe called the landlord and spoke again with him until he convinced him, and the landlord gave him another year. After the year has passed, the 3 months arrive. He sent him the letter of the 3 month notice, and then again he tried the same shtick, and he went to the Rebbe, to the landlord's Rebbe, to the Ruzhiner, and all this is a story. Tzemach Tzedek is telling the Chassidim by the Chanukas Lanu Beis Medrash in Lubavitch. Tzemach Tzedek, and then the Ruzhiner spoke again with the landlord, but then the landlord did not listen to his Rebbe. He just decided that it's too much, waiting too much. I can't, that's my parnosa too. I don't want to be myself a homeless person, that's my income.
Enough is enough.
And I had Rahmanes to him, and he just took him and put him on the streets, and got rid from him, unfortunately. And this is the end of the story that happened in Ruzhin. Now, after 120 years, the neshama of the landlord went to Hashem. Tzemach Tzedek says. And the neshama of the tenant went to Hashem. And straight, the Malachim began Mekatrik Zayin to make a kitrug, an accusation. How is that possible? That a Yid throw another Yid on the street with an entire family. And of course you have the Melitza Yosha came, and they said, but he did his best. But the Mekatrikim said, well, what do you mean your best? If it would be your son, right? Your son, you would give him. And it says, you should love your fellow like yourself. So, and it began a big balagan. So they brought the Rambam, they brought the Kesef Mishneh, the Yosef Karo, and they brought the Rif, I think, or the Rosh. The three Baal Haluche. And they told them, Bedin Shel Maila told them, you have to decide whether what he did was wrong and then we send him to the Gehenna, or he can enter the Gan Eden. He couldn't enter Gan Eden because of that. Now the Militza Yosher, the Malachim who came for his protection, they said, no, I'm sorry. These three rabbis, they know Torah for sure, big doilim, but they don't know the taste of money because they left the world for so long. They forgot what means money. They forgot the erech of geld. So we need someone that understands also the landlord side. We can't just have a person who understands Torah and he doesn't understand what means a landlord who needs he's meant to be paid. So they decided that they're gonna need a third rabbi, not the one to join the Beis Din, but this Dayan must be a person who is still alive, and he is going to join together with the Beis Din Shel Maila, and they're going to both together see whether the landlord was Chayav or Zakai. And it's a Tzemach tells to all his Hasidim, what do you think? Do you think he's Chayav or he's Zakai? And all of a sudden, all the Hasidim understood that the Tzemach Tzedek was the living Dayan that was chosen to be part of the Beis Din Shel Maila to judge these landlords neshama that could not enter to the Gan Eden for so many years. And all the Hasidim together, they all said, Zakai. And it's like, you're right, you're Zakai. And he finished the story over there, and then the Chaiman was over. The Hasidim understood that he was actually the one who was chosen in Hashamayim to be the one to get the neshama to enter to Gan Eden. So we see from that story, of course, that it's not just a tzaddik. Tzaddikim, there are many tzaddikim in the time of Tzemach Tzedek. But here we're talking about a Nasi Yisrael. That means a Nasi Hadoir, that means a person that represents and is responsible for Anshe Hadoir. Now, of course, when we speak about the Rebbe, it's the same thing. The Rebbe is not today, now, like the Rebbe, like the Rambam or like all these neshomas that already Chaz v'Sholem forgot the Ilam Hazeh. No, the Rebbe even today is part of the Ilam Hazeh. Whenever a person goes to the Oyhel and he's asking a bracha to the Rebbe, he's not speaking to the Rebbe as the Rebbe is somewhere in the Rakia Shvi. It's not true. The Rebbe now he is like the Tzemach Tzedek then. And that's how we enter to the Rebbe, because the Rebbe is our Nasi, and the Nasi is responsible physically and connected physically to every Anshe Hadoir. Now, you know what? It's very possible that this person it's not fair what he did. I don't know, Api Allah, are you allowed, you're not allowed. But of course, Rebbe is Mezake, and that's a very small part of the Tzemach Tzedek's life, the fact that he was a Nasi upon Anshe Hadoir. Now, then you have his Torah personality. The Torah personality of the Tzemach Tzedek is you see that he in his generation he made all the Misnagdim came to make shalom with him. In the time of Tzemach Tzedek, the Misnagdus was bottle gamre, because until the Tzemach Tzedek they thought that Chassidus is about running away from Nigle, from Teira. But when they saw that Tzemach Tzedek, that was a tremendous Baal Nigle, to the extent that even Poiskim and Misnagdim would send him shaylas about what they got as a shayla.
I hear this, his chuvas don't even understand this. It's cryptic, like people
I
understand.
have his chuvas.
No, but it's hard to learn.
It's chuva. It's nigle chuvas. Is of course What do you think? It's not.
It's like another Behida.
It's not the R scroll book. It's not R scroll. No. And of course, whenever it's your Gimmel Nissan, it's a Zois Chanukas HaMizbeach in the Nesim. It's the last part of all the Nesim together. So we get the tremendous power from the Tzemach Tzedek's Neshama to learn Chasidus and Nigle both in the maximum way possible. Because you have some people, I'm a Baal Nigle, and for them Chasidus is a very abstract situation that they never connect. And then you have other people that are very Chasidus, but they're not Nigle. Come with Gimmel Nissan gives the power that if we want to connect to the essence of the day, we can today take the power from that day to become a person who is learning Nigle and learning Chassidus both in the maximum way and the deepest way possible. Just like the Tzemach Tzedek did, that so many bichlach of Chassidus and so many bichlach of Nigle together in the same person.
Is that why the Rebbe is named after him? Because he was born at that time?
Listen.
Yeah.
Possible.
No, I'm saying the days. Oh,
it's a good. I never thought about it.
Rabbi also is descended from him.
Ja, versteht ze. Versteht ze. Formal, but what I'm saying is probably it was between the bris.
Yeah, you make sense.
So the father was born Yidalov.
Yeah.
When was the Rebbe's bris?
Yudches. On his father's birthday.
Yudches was the Rebbe's bris. So they figured.
I never thought about it.
Ze is man zoekt daar gast of een weil.
Yeah.
You know, this is interesting.
So he was the first recognized Rebbe by the Misagdim.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, but Lemafreya came out to be that even when they saw the Tzemach Tzedek, they were Mekabel also.
Bottom up.
Wow. Yeah.
Retroactively.
But you know, what Chabad does, people take like 100 years to understand. On the spot, you have a lot of Snagdus, and then 100. Today, Satmar is about to say Yechi, you know. Right? The biggest Meshichs, the California guy is
Aaron Wolf.
Yeah, Aaron Wolf, yeah.
He's a Satmar guy?
I worked in Chai Urzik in Matashad. I go into a guy. He says, look at my phone to show me how. He says, I have my phone. You see Rabbi Gordon, Josh Gordon. I listen to Tanya every day.
Yeah.
Aaron Wolf is a Satmar guy?
Of course. Today, the world.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Like
the
legit?
world already has changed in Baruch Hashem. I heard also an unbelievable story in Tafshin Yud. There was a person a lady who became she fainted, but to the extent that they couldn't wake her up. She fainted. How do you call it? Unconscious, but like mamish unconscious. Yes. Not sometimes unconscious, but we can. So they came to the Rebbe to ask a bracha.
And a coma it's called a coma.
Yes, yeah.
COMA.
Yeah, and they asked the Rebbe a bracha, and the Rebbe told the Chassid who asked the bracha for her, I think it was Tafshin Yud, to go next to her ear and to say the name of the Friedrich Rebbe. Wow. To say the name of the Friedrich Rebbe next to her ear.
This is
and I know.
No.
And they did it, and miraculously she woke up. And that's very, very not usual, but the Rebbe explained why and how. The Rebbe explained like that. When a person is fainting, chas v'sholem, it means that his vitality goes back to the source of the vitality of the body, because the person is not dead. If chas v'sholem the person passes away, so the vitality goes out of the body, completely leaves the body. But since the person is still alive, it means the vitality is still into the body, but not in the hispashtus, not in the detail, not in the expression of the vitality, but more in the point, in the source of the vitality. The general vitality is there, but not the detail. So it's in the etzem. Now, usually, it says in the Sforim that the sugula to wake up a person is to call him his name. Why? Because the name of a person is the etzem. But that's why when you say the name of a person, it's touching the etzem, and it brings down the vitality from the etzem down. However, this lady, they tried her name a few times, and she didn't wake up. So the Rabbi explained that in the etzem itself, you have the chitzonius of the etzem, and you have the pnimius of the etzem. Whenever you call a person by his name, is the chitzonius of his etzem. That's the part of the etzem that has a shayches with the koiches, with all the body and the limbs and the activity. But when you call a person and he doesn't respond, you must call him by a name that's going to touch the pnimius of his etzem. And over there, that's the Rebbe's name. Since the vitality did not respond when we mention his name, that is Shem Ha'atzmi, that means that the vitality went even further than the chitzonius of the etzem. The chayes went to the pnimius of the etzem. And over there, which name is working? Just the Rebbe's name. And that's what the Rebbe would say. We're going to say the Rebbe's name. It's going to help.
But you call it it's going like Malubish.
Look, of course. Don't think we were not.
The Rebbe's koiches also.
Of course. But since the
If
Rebbe.
some pnimius becomes the Rebbe, then that's their pnimius.
Right. No, but the person's connected to the notes.
The connection
automatically.
The Nasi with every Yid is in the pnimius of the etzem. So,
So we don't need a defibrillator.
A shock. You give you the shock.
No, they did everything.
They did everything. You said
They did
just
everything.
the name alone.
Everything. The doctor just said we just need a miracle. We don't know what to do now. And Rebbe said to pronounce.
I say because the Rebbe said it. Also, that's a part. Today you walk from.
I heard from Rabbi Khan that in the Yuds, in the beginning of the Nesios of the Rebbe, he came. He entered in Yechidus and he asked the bracha for a relative that was in Eretz Yisrael, and he became fry. The relative began to Chas v'Shalom to slip away from Torah mitzvahs. So he asked the mishpocha in Eretz Yisrael asked Rabbi Yoel, can you mention his name by the Rebbe? So now the Rebbe asked him, and I heard from Rabbi Yoel himself. The Rebbe asked him, how old is he, this relative? So Rabbi Yoel didn't know how old is he, so he tried to figure out how old he should be now. And the Rebbe explained, the reason why I'm asking how old is he is because I want to know if when the Rebbe Deshver was in Eretz Yisrael in Tovash Peites, he saw him. Because the Frierdiker Rebbe was in Eretz Yisrael.
He was Hasid Chabad,
Yeah, Chabad. So I want to figure out if the Rebbe saw him.
And if yes?
And if yes, he's going to come back to truth. And Rabbi Yoel said that actually what happened is all of a sudden he began to be stronger and stronger, and he became about truth. And the diuk is not if he saw the Rebbe, the diuk was if the Rebbe saw him. And here comes the point that.
Would you say anyone that the Rebbe saw has hope?
Yeah, that means no. If you're going to say if he saw the Rebbe, so you're going to say today we don't see the Rebbe. So that means this koyach is not applicable. But according to Tzemach Tzedek's story, that the Nasi is physical. That means he's not just a neshama somewhere, but he's physical. And that detail that the Rebbe saw him, that means that now actually the Rebbe. Right. Whenever a person enters to the Rebbe, the Ohel, he has to know that the Rebbe sees him, and the cook, the Rebbe's cook itself is changing the person's mehus.
You went now for the birthday? No, you don't go for the birthday?
Nissan, of course.
I
went 2 times. In the morning for myself, and I took the family in the evening.
Are you down for us?
Are you not supposed to go to the cemetery in Nissan or no?
It's not a cemetery.
Theoretically, Allah, you're not supposed to?
Not a cemetery. No.
Yes or no?
Tzadikim is, but that's how they came here always. It's Shabbos Yom Tov, yeah.
Not a cemetery.
Isn't that?
I'm saying Al Pi Allah. Is there some idea not to go?
I looked up once because someone is it's only like if a person has a yahrzeit on Nissan, so you give him permission to go with the condition he shouldn't cry. Means he should just go for the tziyun itself, or like
Why? Because Chanukah Sabbath is Yom Tov?
Yeah. Every day is a Yom Tov. It's a
So we can't jump, but
Chodesh Hazal, Rosh Chodesh.
Right. Gosh.
So you're not supposed. Does that mean not supposed to do anything that causes tsar in Nissan?
Anything or what? Yeah. I
What
mean,
else? Where else is this halacha?
Has paid. You can only come before that. And no tinies.
Yeah.
Beside
Tiny
the Chodesh, yeah.
Wer endigt dem Mesach? Was endigt man los?
I don't know. Let's just he's gonna come. So what about? Can you come tomorrow 8:30?
Huh?
Working.
Can you come 8:30 tomorrow?
Tomorrow?